Check,
I
check.
can hear you now.
Let's
Can you hear
go.
me?
Yeah, I can hear you, man.
Hey, how's it going?
It's going good, dude. I'm happy to be doing this right now.
That's what's up. It's good to have you on here. I want to start off with the intro, then I'll have you introduce yourself. Ready?
Ab- Absolutely. Let's get it.
All right. Hey, independent trailblazers and musical mavericks. This is Over Mustang coming at you from Aura-Genz, the epic center of independent artistry. Today we're diving into the world of unbridled creativity, where our where our guest is. Wait, yeah, I fucked that. Where we dive into the world of unbridled creativity, where our guest isn't just here to talk shop. They're here to light a fire under your independent spirit. They're showcasing their own unique journey, shining a radiant spotlight on a collective of indie artists who are fearlessly carving their own path from the raw authenticity of acoustic ballads to the electrifying energy of the underground beats. We're celebrating the tenacity and innovation of an independent artist who dares to dream big. So, my fellow creators and champions of the unseen, get ready to be inspired. Get ready to break molds because today we're unleashing a wave of artistic freedom that bounds to redefine the industry. Let's dive in and make some magic happen. Go ahead, take the floor.
What's up, everyone? My name is Matthews. I'm an independent alternative hip hop artist coming out of the area of Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. I've been making music basically my whole life, but as Matthews for I want to say the last 4 years. And I'm just stoked to be here, stoked to be talking with Aura about art and creativity and just my project and how I got this started. So thank you for having me.
Shout out to you. And I, I'm not sure you told me this, but I see that in your music videos that you are from Philadelphia.
Yeah, that's correct.
Shout out to you. Listen to your music. I say I have about let me see. Give me a second. Listen to your music. I have about one, two, three, four, five, six, seven, eight, eight songs that I really rock with. Just being the first time listener, and I listened to about like 20 of your songs, just on YouTube so far.
Thanks, man.
Uh, no problem. And I'm curious, how many songs do you have in total?
That's a loaded question. I don't even know the answer off the top of my head. Songs that I have out, I think on streaming like Apple Music and Spotify, I think I have maybe 13. Um,
13.
on SoundCloud, I have a few more demos and it's just some more underground stuff. So
Okay.
maybe up to 18 to 20 on there.
Okay.
Yeah.
And some of it's exclusive to certain platforms such as Spotify.
Say that one more time.
Some of them is exclusive to certain platforms such as Spotify.
Yeah, yeah. I got some covers or some rap covers, not covering the actual song, but putting on my own verse or either songs that for whatever reason I just didn't want up on streaming anymore. That weren't really representative of my sound or my messaging. So I'll leave them up on SoundCloud just as like an Easter egg for new fans. If they're on Spotify and they're really rocking out on YouTube, like I'll pop over to my SoundCloud one day and they'll, oh wow, like there's more music that I don't know about. So I like to leave little Easter eggs like that throughout my platforms.
Shout out to you. And I'm curious, tell us a little bit about yourself. I'm curious.
Yeah, I mean, oh man, that's a loaded question too. It you know,
Just an introduction to the
yeah,
audience to get
sure,
to know.
sure, sure. I guess if there's one thing people should know about me is I'm a very spiritual person. That's definitely something that is laced in and throughout my music is just the spiritual battle, spiritual struggle. Um, I would say that I'm a lover of music first and foremost. Definitely, what I say is my first love. Just rocking out to the Beach Boys. My mom would play me when I was younger. I would pull out pots and pans and play drums on those. I'm not a drummer, but it was my first
Mm,
try. Um, but yeah, yeah. I grew up in and around Philadelphia. So, very much an Eagles fan, Philadelphia sports. The story of Rocky Balboa, those
Hmm.
figures forged me kind of. Even my name Matthews is based after the main character of a show called Boy Meets World. I don't know if you've ever saw it.
I don't think I heard of it. I don't think I ever watched it, but that's
Yeah,
interesting.
yeah. So Boy Meets World, the main character, he's a young man. He grows up in and around Philadelphia in a Philadelphia suburb, and it's called Boy Meets World. So the whole show is just about him encountering school, girls, teachers, friends, bullies, sex,
Mm,
drugs, high school, college, marriage, just the whole gambit. So when I was
okay.
making my music, I wanted a vein and a way to just talk about whatever I wanted to talk about. And the character that I thought about was Corey Matthews from Boy Meets World. So
Shout out to that moment. And
yeah,
I'm
right.
curious. And I'm curious. So we know you as an artist. We got a bit to know you. You're a spiritualist and a little bit background in Philadelphia. I'm also curious. Are we missing any other talent of you? So we know you're an artist. Is there anything else?
Any other talents I have?
As far as like, do you produce as well, or
I don't produce beats, but I am a musician. I play guitar.
no?
Can work my way around the piano, not very well. A little bit of bass, not very well. But that I would say like the musicianship background. And I guess one thing everyone should know about me is that I used to play in metal bands growing up.
Oh, murder.
I used to scream in metal bands. So I guess where I'm going with
I can
it
see that.
is I have an ear for certain melodies over these like trap and drill beats that I'm going on.
No.
That I don't know that a lot of other artists like on these kind of beats and in this kind of genre do.
Mhm.
Um, so in that sense, I think I'm a very talented executive producer in the sense that I love to help other artists with their songs. I love to help other artists with their hooks, with writing, melodies, and that kind of thing as well. So I love to songwrite, for
So you're a
others as well
songwriter
as
as
myself.
well.
Yeah, definitely, definitely.
Shows that. So we got you're an artist, musician, songwriting, and executive producer, correct?
Yeah, that's correct.
And what lines does the executive producer do?
Yeah. So, are you familiar with Rick Rubin?
No, but tell me more.
Yeah, so Rick Rubin, he's a super producer of our time. He worked on the Blueprint and Blueprint 2 with Jay-Z. And
Okay.
his response, as he worked on Yeezus with Kanye, was the executive producer on that project. So basically, the executive producer is not the person that's putting the drums together or necessarily, sending in the loops or the instrumentation that the artist is going off of or even making those beats, but they may be standing back behind the producer that's putting the music together and telling them, hey, add a hi-hat here, or add a snare here, or change the snare sound to this, or double up the snare here, or, can we add some 808s, or take the 808s away here. So it's really like an adding and taking away role, and really just a role where you're the ear in the studio and everyone's kind of going based off of your taste.
Hmm.
So that's what the executive producer role is, I think, and that's actually that's not a myself quote. That's actually out of Rick Rubin's book, The Creative. I believe it's The Creative Act. Yeah, it's The Creative Act.
No.
It's more about taste and the way that you can hear a record and hear what will add to it and what not and what won't take away, if that makes sense.
Okay. So so that position is kind of like the chef.
Yeah,
Okay.
definitely. I would executive chef. Like you don't necessarily have your hands on the food, but you have a whole team under you that are cooking up the food, putting the plates out.
Okay.
But ultimately, if the kitchen crashes and burns, that's on you, right? So yeah,
Mhm.
definitely like an executive chef.
And I'm glad you brought that up because my next question is, can you give us, some examples when you made like good calls and the song turned out well compared to like some songs that didn't?
Yeah, definitely. Oh, man, there's so many. We call them happy little moments in the
Mm.
studio. We call them happy little accidents, rather, where it's something that you do that's completely accidental, that is not planned, but ultimately that ends up being the thing, or the melody, or the lyric, or the one moment in the song that ends up
Mm.
making it. So I guess the one moment that is like salient on the top of my head, I don't know if you heard my song Quietest One in the Room.
Yes.
Yeah, so that song, if I played you the original beat, was actually like 20 to 30, maybe even 40 BPM slower than the actual song that came out.
Mm.
And the way that happened was we loaded the beat in to Pro Tools, and the engineer that was in the session accidentally sped it up.
Mm.
And someone else in the room was like, yo, try rapping it at that speed. And I just started, and everybody in the room immediately knew. Like, we immediately knew, like, oh no, like that's the song.
Mm.
Um, like what we had before, like that was what it was originally, but you hear something different, and all of a sudden, it changes, like becomes something else. So,
Mm.
yeah, you have to be, as an artist and as a creative, I think you have to be willing to know like when to make that call. You have to
Mm.
be willing to know like when to put down your original vision, or even when a song isn't working. Like sometimes I'll start writing something and get in the studio, and for one reason or another, like I'm not feeling it the way that I did when I wrote it. And
Mm.
at that moment, I'm like, you know what? Scrap it. I got 5 other songs that I love. You know what I mean? So,
That's what's up. And how about the times it didn't go so well? Do you have an example?
yeah, yeah. I mean, of like when making a
Like
decision in the studio that was
you
not the
took a
right
chance
one.
on you took a chance on a song, and from your call it was like, all right, that's going to be a hit, but it didn't go as planned.
Yeah, definitely, man. I think a lot. I think every time you write a song, I think every time you write a melody or a lyric, or when you hear something. So I'm very driven by the beat. I'm very driven by what I hear. So like unless I'm feeling very inspired, will I like actually just sit down and write bars, or try to write melodies, or sit down in front of a piano and try to write something without
Mm.
a canvas to paint on, for example. And that's like the beat and the production. But yeah, so I think a lot of times, like there's been plenty of times, man, where I think I got one, like I think I have a hit, and then I go to record it, and I hear the melody back, and I'm like, damn, that did not go, that does not sound the way that I thought it sounded when I was writing it.
Mm.
Um, so I guess but that's the thing, right? Like those songs don't even really see the light of day, and if they do, they're changed into something that I can feel good about and feel confident about putting out. Um, on the other hand, there's songs that I have where I'll like write a hook and go into the studio with it and think that it's not gonna be the best hook, like it's not gonna be the best song.
Mm.
And then what I walk out with ends up being one of my favorite songs. So I don't know if you heard my song Comatose.
Oh yeah,
It was
actually,
that
that's
okay.
that's one of the 8 songs that
That's,
stand out to me.
yeah, yeah, yeah. So that was one of those songs actually,
Okay.
where when I wrote it, I wasn't feeling it that hard. I was just kind of going to the studio with nothing else to do, and like, all right, like I have some songs in the tuck, so let me just record this one.
No.
And when I recorded the hook, like me and the engineer were just listening back to it, and we were like, shit, man, like this is so. I'm sorry if I can't curse on here, by the way.
No, go ahead. It's free spirit.
All right, great, thank you.
Mm.
I'm like, I was like, shit, man, like I think this might be like my favorite song. And then the second verse on that, actually I wrote on the spot in the studio. And I'm not going to go through the lyrics right now. I'll leave that up for the listener to do some self-discovery. But go
No.
listen to the song and listen to the second verse, because like there's a way that I tie the whole story together. And that happened like I said, happy little accident, right? I didn't write that before I came into the studio because I didn't even know that I was going to have a song.
Mm-hmm.
But, just sitting down in the booth, and I actually have it all on video. I'm going to put together a little making of for that song. But yeah, like it was all written on the spot. So yeah, that was one of those songs where I wasn't feeling it at all when I walked in, and now that's my favorite song. So
Shout out to that song. And I'm curious, will that be the same answer from the perspective of you being what was it, producer,
say that
executive?
say that one more time.
Will that be the same answer from the perspective of you being a executive producer?
Say the question.
As far as when I was asking the question earlier, give us some examples of you taking a chance on a song that went positive compared to like, you taking a chance on a song that went negative.
Yeah, yeah. When I say I'm an executive producer, like I have not held that belt on like huge projects or whole albums or anything like
Okay.
that. But when I'm in the studio with the homies, or when I'm in the studio with an artist, like just being another ear, I'll say
Okay.
like my opinion is more times listened to than it isn't.
Okay. Okay.
So
That's
yeah,
understandable.
like there's a lot of times like I'll just add my opinion whether it's wanted or not. Um, and add the first lyric from the first hook to the intro of the song. Boom, that'll tie the whole
Mm,
thing together. So small things like that. So yeah,
okay.
yeah, there too many to tell you, to be
Mm,
honest. But yeah, that happens all the time.
okay. That's understandable.
It's a good question
Um,
though. Thank you.
no problem. Especially, after I think you're the first person that brought up that position to me. So
Sure,
yeah, I was definitely, especially anybody that's curious on to like think about managing like, any artists, you know, it's
yeah,
good to hear, stuff like that.
definitely.
Um, bringing us back to your other skill set, uh, let's jump on to songwriting. Um, what's your experience with that? How long you been doing it? And are you willing to write for others? I think you was talking about that you was willing to write for others.
Yeah, definitely. So I've been writing songs, lyrics since I was probably 14 years old. Me and my homie, we wrote and recorded our first album, like alternative rock album, by the time we were 17. So yeah, I've been writing songs for a long time, writing lyrics for a long time.
Okay. And how you challenge yourself when it comes to writing?
That's a great question, man. I have a hard time not repeating myself. I have a hard time not repeating rhyme schemes and certain patterns that come up in my music. I think you can do that in an artistic way, and I think I do that well. But that's definitely a question. I'll be honest, man. I've definitely have kind of slacked on the songwriting. Um,
Mm,
as far as like honing my skills as a lyricist and a rapper. In
mm,
particular, the rap and the bars have definitely fallen by the wayside, like as I've explored kind of, more of like the rock and roll style.
okay.
But yeah, man, I mean, honestly, sitting here and you asking me that question like that, I always want to get back into it. Like I always want to get back into spitting bars, but like I just feel like there's a time and a place for everything.
Mm,
And sometimes I feel like I'm at the place right now where if it were to come to like a hard ass rap verse, if I wasn't feeling it like from myself like really hard, because I love my rap, don't get me wrong, but
mm,
I know that there's people out there that rap so much better than me.
mm,
But when it comes to what I do on a mic, like certain style of vocals and on the kind of songs that I do it on, I'm not sure that there's anyone that's better than me. You know what I mean? And that might sound
mm.
crazy, but like and everyone, it's definitely something that a lot of people tell me is that I've kind of carved out my own lane. Um,
Now, I think
uh,
that's definitely good to hear that you got confidence in your
yeah,
work.
yeah, and look, dude, I'm not, dude. people know, dude, I go through it in the studio all the time. Like
Mm,
like my voice comes through pretty good on recording, bro, because I got people fix it up for me. But like I'm not nailing those notes all the time, dude. Like a lot of my notes are not, in key all the time. Like I might flounder if it was a live show, So I'm
mm.
not saying I'm the best at everything and like I got everything figured out. I just saying I know what I'm good at. You know what I mean?
No, I
And
feel you.
I think that's important for every artist. To be honest, is to know what you're good at. Like you're not the
Mm,
best, to be honest. Like you're never gonna be the best. There's always gonna be someone better. And I understand, like people think that they're supposed to have the mindset, like, oh, like I'm supposed to think I'm the best. Trust me, you go into some of these rooms and have that mindset and have that attitude, you won't be invited back. Like, no, straight up, dude. Dude, there's rooms that I've been in that I have no business being in with
mm,
artists and producers. Like I'm not a name dropper, but there's artists and producers where I've been in rooms with them where I have no business being in, and everyone kind of knows that, but everyone still treats you with
mm.
that respect as long as you're not a dickhead about it. Um,
Okay.
but on the other hand, like if you go in and you try to like prove yourself, and if you try to be something that you're not, like you're gonna get found out quick.
Mm.
I know we just went off on a tangent, but I guess that's the hallmark of a good conversation.
Yeah, this is like I said, it's free spirit, and
Yeah, definitely,
I think you brought up a couple good points that I would like to attack later, such as like having a good team. You know, uh,
definitely, yeah.
I'm curious. What before I even jump to that, I know I was just asking in a sense when I was asking, how do you challenge yourself when it comes to writing, but just in a sense, for yourself. Um, and I from hearing what you was talking about, I think it's good that you know yourself that maybe I don't need to be like the best lyricist, but the hooks, goddamn it, is a
Yeah,
hell of a punch.
that's
Um,
that's a jab, baby. Like you're not
mm,
gonna take my right jab from me.
so it's good to hear that you got your own strength and you know what that is.
Yeah.
And so I'm curious when it comes to hook, how do you keep yourself, you know, how you keep coming up with like good hooks, how you're not running out of ideas for that.
Are you
But
telling
go,
me that I have good hooks, Aura?
yeah, I'm actually fuck with. I mean, shit, I got 8 songs that I fuck with.
Hey,
Uh,
I'm playing with you, bro. I appreciate
Oh,
that,
no, no,
man.
no.
I
It's
appreciate
well
that.
deserved. It's well
Yeah.
deserved. And to give you your flowers, I fuck with 8 songs out your catalog just being a first time listener,
Yeah.
and a lot of them I'm a sucker for hook. So it just so happened that you actually delivered something that I actually uh you know
Thanks,
had my
man.
interest in.
Yeah. Yeah,
Um,
dude. So with my hooks, that's actually I do have a better answer for that one because the hook, it's actually the thing that I think I was weakest at when I first started writing music. I
mm,
just couldn't hear it. Like I was a much better verse writer. I was a much better at telling a story and getting into the detail as
mm,
compared to in like a good rhyme scheme and like a good melody in that rhyme scheme as compared to like a part that you could hear over and over again without getting tired of it.
mm,
Which is the hook for anyone who's listening wants to know. It's typically the chorus, but it doesn't have to be the chorus. A hook can be one word. It can be a chant. It can be a guitar lick. It can be, even a snare pattern. Like it's really any part of the song that keeps you coming back to it. So
mm,
that's what we're talking about when we talk about hooks. So yeah, when it comes to hooks, I think how I challenge myself is counterintuitive to how most people might challenge themselves because when you think of a challenge, you think of something that you're trying to overcome. Whereas with
mm.
the hook, I think you just have to let it come. I
No,
think with the hook, you just have to let the hook kind of make itself known. I always say I let the hook write itself because it's typically the first thing that comes to me. And
no.
in my conversations with my other artist friends that are writers and more successful writers, we all kind of agree that the hook is the first thing that comes to your mind. And if you're overthinking it more than, that's not every time. Like that's not every time because God knows, like I've changed my hooks. You know what I mean? Like sometimes it's the hook that comes after listening to the beat for a year and a half, which is
Mm.
what happened to me on my song 7 Years. I don't know if you listened to that one.
Another favorite.
Yeah, there you go. But yeah, man, like that was one where oh no, not 7 Years, Asila,
Okay.
because I Had Your Body on Mine. I didn't hear that hook for 2 years writing that song, but more times than not, Coffins, Bad for Me, Love Language, Clouds, um, Dark Skies, Alive, Comatose. First thing I heard, first thing I wrote down, first thing I recorded. Didn't change anything. So
Okay.
just trying to kind of, the challenge is just keeping it simple, man. Like the hook should be simple. Again, like there's time for complexity, but for the hook, I don't think it ever has to be that.
Okay. And what is your favorite hook that you've done so far?
Oh, wow, bro.
All
That's a good question. Does unreleased count or from the songs I have out?
right. Can we get one release and one unreleased?
Yeah. Um, for released, I think it would have to be Coffins.
Coffin. You have a reason for that?
Um, just goes hard. It
Okay.
just goes hard, dude. Just carries the song, man. I repeat the hook probably 8 times in that song, and I've not heard a single person that came back to me and said that, yo, the hook, it's too much at the end.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? So I repeat the hook at the end 4 or 5 times, and not a single time someone has come back to me and been like, yo, it's too much. In fact, that's the song that I get the most plays on Spotify through right now. So that definitely tells you something.
Okay.
Um,
Congratulations.
oh, thanks, man. Yeah, I mean, we're still grinding, dude. Still grinding on the Spotify numbers, Instagram numbers, but it'll all come.
Okay.
And then unreleased, I think there's a song that I have. I actually just dropped a video on my Instagram for not like a whole music video, but it's called "Search for Peace." And that hook goes really hard. Some screams on there. It's a good message, good story. But that song's coming out very soon, so I'm stoked on that.
Okay. And how soon we talking?
I got this event that I'm running coming up this week, so hopefully after that, maybe in a month, 2 months, I got a project I'm working on. A couple EPs that just deserve to get made that have kind of just been sitting in the tuck for a while. So I want to put those projects and those compilations together.
Okay. And the EPs that you are planning on releasing, how many songs is gonna be on?
So I think the first one is going to be a compilation of songs that I already have out with either some alternative verses or some extra instrumentation, whether that be live drums or guitars or adding in some screams or something, because I got a lot of those songs where I wasn't really doing all of that. And I'm a really big sucker for skits on albums and interludes and like I was saying, live instrumentation. So I think those songs, I think 7 Years would go on there, Dark Skies would go on there, Asila would go on there, Clouds would go on there. Yeah, those songs deserve to be on some sort of collection, but just like with a little bit more of a sprinkle of extra content for those that have been rocking with me.
No.
So probably 5 songs, 5 whole tracks, and then the other one be probably pretty solid 5-piece of all unreleased songs that I have right now.
Okay. And bringing this back to our well, before I bring it back to our earlier conversation, we about to hit the halfway mark. How you feel?
Feel great, man. It's a good conversation. It's flowing nice.
Much love, appreciate it. All right.
Yeah,
So I'm guessing you'd like to continue to a full hour.
absolutely.
All right, bet. Bring this back to the earlier conversation. You was talking about your team. I'm curious what your team consists of.
Yeah, my team, man. I want to be careful that I don't offend anybody. Give me one sec.
No.
Define team for me. I
Uh,
think that's a good question.
when you
Define who would be on my team.
when you was talking about earlier, you have people with you that make sure that you're mixing and mastering with gold as well. And I'm just curious, who you have, uh,
Yeah. So for the most part, like when it comes to like a team, as far as management or social media or you know production, engineer, like any of that stuff. My team is me, myself, and I. Um, but there are definitely a few people that I would say are just a staple around me that I know that I can trust with my music, that I know that I can trust with my creative vision, that like believe in me and trust me. Um, so those people, I'll shout them out real quick. Would be my first engineer, Miles Ja. Engineer out of Philadelphia. I always say he's your favorite rapper's engineer. He's produced, engineered for everybody. Another person on my team, I would say, is my boy Wes. He's another guy in the music industry. He's just a constant resource of knowledge for me, of feedback, and giving me gems. My girl Soph, my girl Big Soph. I am Big Soph. Check her out on Instagram. She's like the marketing goat. She definitely has given me a lot of game, a lot of gems, so I appreciate her. And one more of my engineering mentors, Conductor Shan, out in LA, has definitely given me a lot of game and just been a resource, mentor, and homie through creating and everything like that. If I forgot any, Cal Black too. I'll shout out Cal Black in Philly. He's engineered the last 5 or 6 songs that I've recorded, and he's something else, man. He's amazing human being too. He's just a great vibe in the studio. So those guys,
shout out to them.
those 5, yeah, shout out to them for sure.
And how you go by uh looking or like collaborating with other talents?
Yeah, man. Honestly, I don't really go about looking. And I'm not like I don't mean to sound like cocky or anything. I'm really open to collaborating. I'm really open to um, features from other people or on other people's records. Like I got a couple features out there right now. It might be hard for you to find them, but I got a couple solid features out. I really, it has to be just something that I rock with. I don't really charge a fee right now for where I'm at, but one of these hooks blows. We'll see. Um, but yeah, dude, it's Sorry, what were you saying? What was just on features?
Uh, more so find talent.
Yeah,
How you go about that?
yeah. I have a lot of people that are reaching out to me on Instagram.
No.
People reach out to me on Instagram, send me a track. If I hear it, if I like it, I will hear something on it. Send the hook back. Someone that I work with, Kill Zay, Trilla. It's 2 features I have out right now.
You said those are the 2 features that you have out now?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And that was love language. You mind telling us how that song came to be?
Love language?
Hmm.
Yeah, man, absolutely. I was listening to it was actually an instrumental came across my Spotify, and I'm a hopeless romantic. have not traditionally done well in the love world and relationships, but it's always something that I've aspired to. And I think when I wrote that song, it's you'll find something in my music is that there's always kind of like a twofold message. Love language is for those that are doing great, and then those that are not doing so well with their current situation, but it's for both people. So if you listen to the first verse, well, I want to make sure I answer your question. You said, how did the song come about?
Yeah, tell us about the song. So everything, whatever
Yeah,
you want to
yeah,
share.
sure. So basically, the song is just about just learning your partner. It's about learning the ways in which to love your partner. I always saw my parents maybe fall short in that area a little bit, and
Mm,
shout out to them. I have great parents. They're still together after I want to say 40 years. So they did something right. But
mm,
it was interesting, like growing up and kind of seeing the couples around you just kind of like miss just a little bit, or just not act quick enough, or not give enough effort on a gift, or not offer touch in a certain situation, or not, you know what I mean, or not give words of affirmation when your partner needs it. And I feel like I grew up just seeing the miss. So I guess love language is really just like a call to people to really explore, whether you believe in love languages or not. Like, that's not
mm,
really the point, but it's really just to explore your partner, like explore how to know your partner well, how to love your partner well, how to love your partner in the ways that you may not be so good at. Um so that's really what the song is about. It's really about challenge yourself just to be a better lover. And I think that applies to friendships as well. It
mm,
applies to how you engage with people around you in life, and that's not saying that you got to give all of yourself, but as men, I believe we got to be sacrificial. We got to be sacrificial lovers. So sometimes that means doing the thing that we're not good at. Sometimes it means being emotional when we're not feeling emotional. Sometimes it means giving a hug when we don't want to give a hug. Sometimes it means doing the dishes. We don't want to do the dishes, and vice versa. I got
mm,
plenty of notes on the women, trust me.
mm.
But
No, no, I'm
out here call
listening.
out the boys. You know what I'm saying?
No, I feel it, and I'm curious. For you, from your personal experience, where do you see the signs that like, all right, um, my love language need to be worked on? Uh,
For myself,
yeah, like
I
what was the signs for you to take notice?
yeah. So that's hard to say because to be completely honest, I haven't been in a relationship in over 10 years.
Mhm,
So I maybe that when I was writing the song was definitely more from like a third person perspective of like other people's relationships. Maybe that sounds bad where I'm like picking apart other people, but
mhm,
it wasn't necessarily about me, but I can definitely relate it to myself because when I sing that song, when I rap that song, I'm thinking about the ways that I fall short in loving the people around me, right? And I think the one relationship that I can say that I definitely always need to improve on is the one that I have with my parents.
mhm,
How I treat and don't get me wrong, like it's pretty good, like all things considering. A lot of kids don't talk to their parents. Like I have a great relationship with my mom, great relationship with my dad, like, God bless.
mhm,
But and I'm thankful for that. But, I always catch myself, man, so especially as my parents getting older. I always catch myself when I'm not being patient, or, when I'm being rude, or, a little bit short here or there, because, I definitely have that tendency. So, I definitely have
mhm.
a, struggle. Maybe that's not a love language. As patience isn't a love language, but, just definitely challenge myself and just cutting them a break, man. 'Cause, they've been through it,
Mhm.
man. They supported me. They fed me growing up. The reason that Matthews even exists. You know what I'm saying? So
Now, I feel you. So What's some of the things you appreciate from your parents?
I really appreciate the fact that my parents raised me in the church. Um, I really appreciate that foundation. I think a lot of people are really like, and I've experienced my own struggles, my own trials, my own tribulations, and a lot of people I think are upset and hurt, at a lot of things in the church right now, which is totally fine. We can talk about that. And a lot of people are like mad at their parents for like raising them in a certain religion. It's like most of the world's raised in a certain
Mm,
religion. Like, come on now, like
mm,
that seems like a ridiculous thing to be upset at. But I'm really glad that I was raised with that cultural foundation that I do have, and that I take into my music and into my life.
mm,
And like let me say, in my song "Search for Peace," actually, I say straight up, man, like I'm not a pastor, I'm not a priest, man. I'm just a sinner like anyone else. So,
mm,
I'm not here to act like I'm better than anyone, or you know, act like I'm coming from some moral high ground. Because if you listen to my music, bro, you'll know that that's not me. Like,
mm,
I'm coming from the bottom. Like, I'm coming from the dirt. Like, I'm coming from the grime.
mm.
So, you know,
You still building your character.
yeah, definitely. But that's I'm thankful for being raised, with that cultural, that spiritual foundation. And another thing that I'm thankful for my parents, man, is just being supportive, even when it's difficult for them to be supportive. Like, doing music at this point in my life, man, like I gotta really love it to do it. You know what I mean? Because
Mm,
I got a career that I actually doing pretty well in. I tint windows is my day job, and I do okay. Funds my music
mm.
career, but if I didn't love it, like it wouldn't make all that much sense. But my parents always down and always willing to listen to my music, always wanting to give me support, even if it's has a certain word or has a certain message or has a certain theme that they're not supportive of. They always support me in my music, so I love that about them.
Shout out to your parents. And my last question on them: do they have a favorite song out of your catalog?
My mom loves Love Language.
Okay.
That's her favorite song. And then my dad, he I think he likes Love Language too, but he might like Clouds.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Um, Real quick, side note. So we
Sure.
recently have a collaboration with Jet Production. They do short action films, and they're looking to collaborate with artists, soundtracks, and even help y'all create an action music video. If
Sounds
you're
awesome.
interested, I could send you more information after that.
Yeah, definitely.
And second collaboration, I'm not sure if you're looking for a 2D animator. We need a logo, designs, or 2D animation music video. We got somebody that we can recommend.
I'm always looking for good collabs, always looking for other good artists to incorporate into my art. So
All right,
appreciate that.
but I will send you their information after this show.
For
And
sure.
speaking of talent, anybody can listen to this EP, uh, and they can hear it from you. What talent, you know, are you looking for to connect with, network?
I'm really looking for producers right now. I'm really looking for metalcore guitarists and drummers.
No.
That's like the biggest thing that I need help with is that live instrumentation, and specifically metalcore, double bass, double kick. Um, Really looking to collaborate with videographers
Oh.
in more, and that's again more of a I love to pay for good art, I really do, but really looking for to team up, looking to team up, man. It's so hard to
Mm,
get good art out and keep those marketing dollars working for you.
mm.
So
I feel you.
anyone that's looking for dope artists to work with, man.
Inflation.
Yeah, it is. It's real, bro.
No, I feel you. Okay, okay. Shout out. So we got a video photographer. That's what you said.
Yeah, videographer, producers,
Videographer, producers,
metal musicians.
metal musician. Okay, and that's all.
Pretty much, yeah.
Okay.
I mean, man,
So,
I'm always looking for management. There's not much to manage right now. Just a heads up, but you know,
when you say you're looking for management, like manage other artists,
no, not me.
or you're
Like
looking to be
manage it
man.
for myself. Yeah, yeah.
Oh, okay.
I don't got time for all that, man.
No, I feel you. I feel okay. So
I
you're
know
looking
how
for a
big an artist
manager.
is, dude. I couldn't do that if I tried.
Okay. All right. Cool. Cool. That's no problem at all. Uh, one person that do come to mind, we having some trouble with Spotify. They make some changes. So if you were to check out our earlier work, we was also able to share the artist's music within the interview as well.
Got you.
But because of they made some changes, we're no longer able to do that. And some of our episodes got blocked behind a loop of review, so it's not able to come out. So one of the
Damn,
artists or talents that we did have that we would like to showcase, this young man is part of a group. They trying to become like the Microsoft for entertainment. So
okay.
basically, they want to fund people creativity.
Let's talk.
They go by the one guy go by Mike Ocean, but I can send you his information. This is somebody that we collaborate with, but we don't have no partnership. But
Sure.
this is somebody that we can get you in contact with.
Got you.
All right. Yeah, shout out to you. It's well deserved. Just like hearing your music, I definitely say it definitely don't remind me of anybody, and this is me just being a first time listener.
Yeah.
Each song do sound like it's in its own lane. I haven't heard a song yet that was like, this kind of remind me of another song.
Yeah, man.
Uh, Let me see. The hooks stand out to me. Mm, Now that I think about it, I would say that maybe the one thing that's not really noticeable is the beat when I think about it now. But this is just me being a first time listener. But the hook, your
Is
voice really stand out.
the beats you said?
Yeah, the beats itself, like why I'm like thinking of it now,
I got you.
uh, is a bit. I gotta like think hard to remember the beat itself, but
That's because the
I can
vocal
remember.
melodies, man. The vocals
Yeah.
stand out so well.
So I was like, outside of that, the vocals stand out. Uh, now I'm curious. You did bring up a little bit back that you put some themes and messages into your songs.
Yeah.
Uh, could you give us an example and talk a little bit more about that?
Yeah, definitely. Um, is there any particular themes or messages that you're referencing, or you just want my open commentary on that?
Open commentary. I'm just curious.
Yeah. So, a common theme that you'll find throughout my entire catalog is me, myself, and God. Or no, I'm sorry. Me, girls, and God.
Me, girls, and God.
Yeah, me, girls, and God.
Okay.
So if you listen to one of my songs, it's either about a girl, it's about myself, or it's about God. It's probably one of those three things. I very rarely, unless it's like a song like Love Language, that's kind of,
Yeah, you got.
more of a pop vein.
I'm an idealist, so this is just my 2 cents. But just hearing you bring that up, I wouldn't be surprised if you made a song called Triple G. Talk about guy, girl, then God.
Yeah,
Just
man. Yeah.
uh, but yeah, just hearing that, I'm like, okay,
Yeah.
okay. And
Yeah.
and did that formulate naturally, or was you already in the mindset of making that?
I mean, when dude, I grew up on, as I already mentioned, I grew up in the church. I grew up on like Christian metalcore and rock and roll and stuff.
Mm.
And I grew up on alternative rock, vocals and that kind of thing. So, when you look at the lyrical content of, you know, Simple Plan and Blink 182, and then you look at like Under Oath, for example, like that's where you see that influence, right? So that's yeah, that's where that comes from is the music that I listen to, but then also personal experience, right? Like, I mentioned earlier, like I haven't been in a relationship for 10 years. That's not because, um, I, kind of haven't wanted to be in a lot of ways just because of, the stresses that have come along with my relationships with women in my life.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so, and, women are great, women are beautiful. Shout out to women. But they, been a little rough on your boy.
No,
But I've had some amazing experiences that I wouldn't take out with a lot of the girls that I sing about. I don't think any of my songs are like a fuck you to any of them. It's really not about that. It's really just about if you do listen when I talk about these relationships, it's either something that I had that I'm wondering why I don't, and I'm doing better now and like, wish them the best, or, just reflecting on a certain moment in time with them and, how that's affected me or, how it's affecting my music or even like good times, like, wish you the best kind of thing. Or here's this person going through this struggle, and in a silo, I talk about that a lot. Like, oh, here's this girl in front of me who is telling me all of her traumas, and her mom's in the hospital, she's on drugs, and going through all of this pain and suffering, and I'm like, not even trying to romanticize it, but falling in love at the same time, just being around her and like listening to her speak. But now I'm in this complicated emotional state of, I want to fix this person, I want to save this person, and now I'm having these feelings for them, but I can't be any of that, So, that's all personal experiences, definitely. And then as far as the other G goes, God, it's just been a struggle, man. Like, it's been a struggle of faith. It's been and I think the questions that everyone struggles with, and that's why I like to talk about them, because it's a struggle. It's hard.
mm-hmm.
It's hard to know what to do sometimes. It's hard to know how to act. It's hard to know what to believe. And for people like me who were raised in the church, it's hard to know what to believe. It's hard to know, was I told a lie for my whole life, and I'm just believing this because I was raised up on it, or is there any truth to this? And but then I sin, but it doesn't feel like a sin, but this
Mm-hmm.
book says I sin, and then I got to struggle with that, and like I feel bad about this, but like sometimes I don't, but like at this time I do, and then I'm holding this grudge, like I want to forgive them, but I don't
Mm-hmm.
want to forgive them, but then if I don't forgive them, then I'll have this huge weight on my shoulders. You know what I'm saying, man?
Mm-hmm.
So that's what my music is about. It's really just about the struggle, bro. It's about, struggle with God, struggle with girls, struggle within yourself. Depression, mental health, ego, humbleness. Yeah, all of that.
Now, it sounds like you take your life experience and that influence the music that you make. Um, which I think that's help to connect with like your audience. Maybe they can feel that experience, relate to that experience. Uh, I think that opened up the gates to the audience that can relate to you. Uh, so that makes sense, and it's good to hear. Uh, we all can relate to at least have a understanding where our roots begin, or at least how it affects our creativity.
Sure.
Um, let's see. Next song that I have, Dark Skies. This is actually another one of my favorites.
Love
Can
it.
you tell me how this song came to be?
Yeah, man. As another one that was directly inspired by the beat.
Mhm. I just know, is that what do you want to call it? Liquor glass?
No, it's water.
Oh, okay. No, no, I know it was water. I was just looking at the glass. I was like, I know you don't got a liquor glass. It's
No,
water.
it's plastic.
Okay,
Yeah,
okay.
good
Uh,
question though.
okay. Well, tell us how Dark Skies came.
Yeah, man. Dark Skies is basically a song. I was driving back from California actually. I think I was. I might be lying there, but I was driving home from California. I lived out there for a couple years and was listening to this beat. There was like the storm on the horizon, and I was just like thinking about my life, and wasn't in such a great space spiritually at the time. And it was just like, man, all I see are dark skies, man. Like this is such a metaphor for my life right now. And so Dark Skies is just about that. It's really about just feeling like all you have in front of you is a storm that you have to face. Um so yeah, it's just about facing the challenge head on. Overcoming obstacles, getting one back on your problems, and continuing to keep going, you know.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Shout out to that. And let me see. How do you go about marketing and promotion?
Yeah, it's a tough one, dude. It's a tough one. You really got to have your marketing dollars set aside if you're going to do music and expect it to go anywhere. Really, my marketing and promotion is all organic, or I'll run some ads on Instagram. I ran some good ads for coffins, and that's given me a pretty decent core audience fan base that I can keep on marketing to. But yeah, basically what I do is I think of stuff that I like, and if you've seen in any of my recent videos, I've been doing more of this where I'll come up with like a superhero or an anime, something that speaks to me personally. You see, I got the Pokemon shirt on, trainer since '96.
Yeah, I was about to bring that up.
Yeah. We can talk about it.
Okay. So,
Um,
what's your favorite Pokemon?
Jolteon, bro. I got him tattooed on my leg.
Okay. And which one is Josio?
Jolteon, he's like an electric fox.
Oh, okay,
Yeah,
okay, okay.
he evolves from Eevee.
Yep.
But yeah, dude. So I'll think of something that I like whether it's a video game like Kingdom Hearts or anime, Dragon Ball Z, or a superhero like Batman or Spider-Man. I love Spider-Man, bro. He's my favorite
Mm,
superhero. So, I see myself in a lot of Peter Parker, and a lot of us guys do. But
mm,
I'll take like a clip from the movie, screenshot that, and then I'll interlace that with like a performance video of me singing the song and kind of like try to relate some of the lyrics over to the movie or the film, and just kind
mm,
of create that like extra connection to the fan. Because it's like one thing if you're just watching someone that you don't know sing a song that you don't know on Instagram, and you're like, it might even sound good, but honestly, like in my opinion, like it's just becoming like so oversaturated where it's like, I don't really care who this is. And this is how I think, so I know how how other people think. I'm not saying how it's how everyone thinks, but if it's like, all right, like this dude's just like promoting himself right now, I'm not really interested. Like, it has to be beneficial for the viewer in some way. So, but all of a sudden, like if I can show you a little compilation of your favorite superhero to now what is a cool song in the background to your favorite superhero, you might have a little bit more connection there. You know what I mean? So I don't know that there's any actual validity to that, but I think those reels and that marketing has done a little bit better for me. I really struggle with marketing, man. I don't. I like being an artist. I don't like being a content creator, and unfortunately, in this current climate, you kind of have to be both.
mm.
Um, Hard truth to hear. If you don't want to be a content creator, you shouldn't be an artist that's looking to get successful. Straight up. Um,
Yeah.
yeah. But yeah, that's kind of the approach that I take is just short performance clips. I haven't really focused too much on music videos just because you have to have the need for a music video to justify, in my opinion, this is my opinion, is and a lot of people would this because look, like there's a lot of marketing content behind music videos, right? You can chop them up, you can keep on pushing them. You can link off to your YouTube, like so you can show a short clip off one, link it off to your YouTube, create a viral loop that way. But for me, it's hard to justify the cost of a music video when I can't necessarily know that I'm going to see that return. So for me, like if I was going to spend $2,000 on my project, I might want to record 10 songs. You know what I'm saying? Like I might want to record 10 songs and get the cover art straightened out and just shoot a little performance clip for myself. If one of those clips ends up popping for whatever reason, if I get, a little 10,000 to 20,000, 30, 50,000 views on it, all right, well now we have a reason to make a music video maybe. So, it's really just for me, it's really just about knowing where your dollars are going, because that's the ultimate resource that's going to make you or break you in this. I mean, well, creativity, like if you can be creative, you can definitely get over on the dollars as far as like a currency goes. But it's an important one because we all need it to live. And if you're an independent artist and you're spending money on your project and you're taking it seriously, obviously, like you can't go broke. Like, and I'm at the point in my life, and other artists are, where I don't want to sleep in my car, dude. I don't want to. I don't have to. I would rather have this trade that I have and work really hard in that and live comfortably and then also work on my art. Like, you know what I mean? And more power to you, bro. Like, if there's other people that want to sleep in their car, like, I'm 32, dude. Like, the time for me to be out on the street and grinding like that, it's getting close to over, bro. Like, I gotta start thinking about my retirement, baby. You know what I mean, dude? Like, I can't be wilding out like that. So you gotta come at it with a little bit more strategy, I think.
That's understandable. Okay. And I can respect that from your opinion. I can respect that. And I think a lot of people around your age can relate or probably, agree with you as well. To be 32 and, struggling that hard. But, we talking from your personal experience and, you got to do what works for you.
No, I'm not struggling. I want to clarify that. I'm not struggling in any
No,
capacity.
I'm saying like the way how you go about it,
Yeah, sure.
If it works for you,
For sure.
we understand that.
Yo, and let me say, dude, I think like videos are really valuable when they're creative. Like, a lot there. I think G-Eazy, went viral. Like he made his whole career off of a creative video, but he spent his last dollar on it. He spent his last $5K, and he literally had $0 in his bank account. And his girl was like, "All right, well, like, what are we doing?" And he's like, "No, it's gonna work." And like, woke up the next day, and the video was at 50,000 views, and that was what he got his core fan base off of. So I'm not saying that it can't work, but if an 18-year-old artist were to come to me and be like, "Yo, Matthews, like, I got $5,000 to spend. Like, where would you put this?" I wouldn't be like, "Yeah, like, make one video." You know what I'm saying?
No, I totally understand, and sometimes that works for people.
Right.
If you're willing to gamble like that,
Yeah.
that works for people. But sometimes, other people got their own lane. All about making a come up.
For sure.
And it sounds like you want to be stable while you climbing. Which is totally
There's
understandable.
nothing cool about being broke, bro.
Nah.
Bro, I've been, dude. This is probably the first year of my life where like I don't got to worry about a bill, and I'm not saying I'm rich or anything like that. Like that's as I learned how to budget. You know what I mean? But like I'm saying, I've been broke, bro. I've slept in my car, dude, and I've been, whatever. I'm telling
Mm-hmm.
you, there's nothing cool about that shit. Like,
Mm-hmm.
so yeah, I mean, not that anyone's
Uh,
asking, but if they were, I'd be like, yo, learn a trade.
mm,
Learn a trade that you can support yourself in, that you're going to get paid a decent hourly in, that you're not going to have a dickhead boss that you don't want to listen to. And then once
okay.
you learn your trade, you support yourself with that trade, bro. You should see my setup right now. It's a nice setup, you know.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not on right now. Like I'm not making money off of my music. I'm not, at least I'm not full time with my music, but I think I've built a solid foundation where I can continue to create without feeling the pressure of, you know, am I going to be able to record this next single, or am I going to be able to eat tomorrow?
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Like, I think there's value in getting to a place where you can do both comfortably.
Mm-hmm. That's a good gem, especially, like getting traded.
Yeah.
Uh,
Trades. It's like one thing I would have for anyone to take, especially for a musician. Trades, even if it's tuning pianos. I know guys
mm.
make bank tuning pianos.
And what
But yeah,
trade do you have?
I tint windows.
Okay. And that's what's up. Right.
Yeah,
You
man.
turn windows. Uh, and my last question: how can the audience support you?
How audience can support me is honestly just by streaming my music. Prayer. You want to pray for Matthews? You'd always take prayer, man. You gotta throw one up for Matthews. I appreciate that. But yeah, dude. Yeah, just stream my music. Follow me on Instagram. Who is Matthews? I really appreciate the call, man. It was a great conversation, and maybe we'll do it in the future.
No problem. That's what we do. Like I said, this first one would be a first free trial, but after that, it will be a charge, a service fee. However, we would do ranking out your catalog next time you come over here. So we encourage you to make more music, and you're welcome to use our platform to promote and then engage with it. Um, and those that subscribe, you're welcome to create your own ad, and we keep it in rotation on multiple platforms such as Google Podcasts, Apple Podcasts, etc.
Sounds
Yeah.
good, man. Sounds good.
All right. Shit. I think I forget something. There's something else. Oh, do you want this as a video?
Video would be great.
Okay. And before you go, shout out all your platforms. Shout out anybody that you want to put on
Yo,
and drop
I'm
a song out. Yeah.
for sure, for sure. Who is Matthews on all platforms? Who is Matthews with two T's? Don't got anyone to shout out.
Okay.
Lone Wolf over here.
Yeah. No problem. And do you have a song out of your catalog you want to drop?
Stream Coffins.
Call.
Coffins
Okay.
is a good song. It's a good hook. Good message. Y'all
Okay.
enjoy it. For sure.
Shout out the coffin. All right, bro. It was great to have you on here as a
Dude,
special
thank you so
guest.
much. Thank you so much for having me.
No problem. Your EP will be ready on YouTube within a month. Uh,
Hopefully by the end of the year, man. I always misspeak when I promise music, so I wanna say too soon.
all right, no problem. Well, I was talking about your podcast. EP. Uh, the podcast probably will be available within a month.
Oh, okay.
Uh,
My bad. My bad.
no problem. Spotify might take a little bit longer because you're in rotation with other artists, but outside of that, I will keep you posted.
Awesome, man. I appreciate you so much.
All right, right back at you.
All right.
All
Talk
right,
to you soon.
have a blessed one.
All right. Bye now.